Most agents don't fail from a lack of effort. They fail because they waste years chasing the wrong things. While other agents are faking it on Instagram, the pros are quietly following these rules and closing 10, 20, or 30 times more. Real estate is hard not because of the competition, but because every day you're fighting your own discipline, doubt, and direction. This video gives you the mindset rules of top agents. Rules that turn scattered agents into focused business owners. Break one and you'll stall. Follow all 6 and you finally get the career and control you've been chasing. I've seen both sides of this business. The agent who's working non-stop but can't close deals. And the agent who walks in calm, confident, and in control. You get to choose which version of your career you will have if you follow these rules. Rule number 1, discipline equals freedom. You may not like this initially, but it will change your mind in just a minute. In my 30 years in this business, I hear this a lot. I don't have a boss. I could do whatever I want and I can make a fortune. It's true that you don't have a boss and you can do whatever you want, but that behavior does not make you money. It'll actually keep you broke. And I'll explain why. This is a quote I often share with my real estate agent clients when they come to me for advice. Self-discipline is a form of freedom. Freedom from laziness and lethargy. Freedom from the expectations and demands of others. Freedom from weakness, fear, and doubt. Self-discipline makes you a master of, rather than a slave to your thoughts and emotions. I know this is really not very exciting at all for most real estate agents because people tend to get a real estate license because they want the freedom to do whatever they want, whenever they want. Maybe you haven't figured it out yet, but that's not going to work because discipline is freedom in really every aspect of life. Every human being has fear and doubt, but when you follow this rule, you develop self-discipline and you take control. You become your own master, and it's going to be required from you all the time. Trust me, if you want to make money in real estate as a listing agent, you should not be working with buyers. You're not going to have the freedom you're looking for. You need to focus on listings and finding people who want to sell. That requires discipline. If you sit around doing whatever you want all day, you won't have people reaching out to you to list and sell their house. You might have noticed that already. So discipline in so many ways, it's what gives you real freedom. Now here's the part that breaks most agents. You show up, you try to be consistent, and yet nothing works. Deals fall through. Clients ghost you. Months go by with no closings. That's when most people give up. But that's the moment when top agents double down because they know success isn't free. It's earned every single time. Rule number 2, you can achieve anything if you're willing to pay the price. In the past 30 years as a real estate agent, I've made every mistake you can think of. I've had months where I made nothing. I've had clients scream at me. I've lost deals I thought were guaranteed to close, but I never stopped learning and working. That's the only reason why I'm still here. Everybody would like to have something for nothing. quick, easy solutions, skipping the lines, having all the knowledge in the world in the palm of your hand. Maybe that's true for a small group of people born into special circumstances, money, influence, whatever. But the regular person like me, and probably you watching, you're going to have to work for it. But there's good news. You can achieve any level of success in this business that you set your mind to, if you're willing to work for it. I'm the proof. 30 years in this business. I did it myself from scratch. I had no business every single day, and I followed these rules, and I paid the price, and my entire career changed. Let me be clear with you. There is no shortcut, no magic button. But if you follow specific rules, you'll beat the agents who stay lazy and undisciplined. That's your edge. And I can help you with that. Check the link in the description for more. There's no shortage of people online promising something for nothing. But 3 decades in real estate gives me the authority to teach this. And you can trust me. But here's the twist. Working hard isn't enough. If your energy is scattered, you'll burn out without getting anywhere. And that's what I see over and over again. Agents doing everything except committing to one goal. That's rule number 3. Those who commit to nothing are distracted by everything. I almost quit real estate because I wasn't committed to this next rule when I first started. Imagine this, a ship sailing fast with strong wind behind it. But there's a problem. It has no rudder. So it just gets pushed wherever the wind takes it. It could even end up going in circles. Are you that person? Are you missing the rudder? Goal, direction. I've seen this hundreds of times, so I know the solution to this problem. Your goal must be so important to you that you can't live without it. What that means is that you're going to do whatever it takes. It doesn't matter how. It doesn't matter what or for how long. You are going to make it happen. Now, it's not easy to figure this out. You're going to have to really think about it. What's important to you? What do you really want? And here's what I want you to understand. Your goal is not set in stone. If you change your mind next week or tomorrow and you realize, that's not really what I want, this is great. They're your goals, nobody else's, and you don't have to explain yourself to anybody. But they should motivate you to get out of bed excited every day, to go to work and achieve them. Because here's the truth. In order to succeed at a high level in real estate or anything else, there will be moments when it gets tough. You have doubts, fear, setbacks, challenges. Things don't go your way. Even with a goal, you're not safe yet, because the moment you start moving, life pushes back. You'll get rejected 5, 10, even 20 times in one day. A client will cancel a deal you were counting on. You'll have to explain to your partner why the income isn't coming in yet. And that's when people quit. Not because they're weak, but because they weren't prepared for the mental game. That's why rule number 4 is everything. It's your armor. Success demands a strong mindset. When you see someone very successful at what they do, maybe you admire them, maybe you want to be like them, but you don't know what they went through to get there. You're seeing the outside. What's in their minds is the point of this rule. Think of professional athletes. They do things that seem superhuman, but behind that performance are years of training, thousands of hours of practice, and an incredibly strong mindset. Real estate is no different. I say this all the time to my clients. There is no substitute for massive action. I see that a lot of people who reach out to me for help are professional students. They're learning, watching, preparing, but they're not doing. That's not going to work. If you combine learning with massive action, then you'll start to see exponential growth. You probably heard people say, mindset is 90% of success. I don't believe that. It's 100%. You must work on your mindset every single day. Watch motivational videos, read empowering books, listen to personal development podcasts, meditate, journal, exercise, whatever it takes to build your mental toughness. Because a growth mindset is required in this business. Mindset gets you through the hard days, but ego will sabotage you when things start to not work. It'll whisper that you're better than other agents, so I could stop improving. You'll tell yourself that you don't need to adjust or adapt. And that's exactly when you'll start losing deals. Let's talk about rule number 5. Leave the ego out. This next one is not easy to hear. Most human beings are struggling with this, including me. In real estate, especially if you're prospecting, you'll deal with rejection, rudeness, and people who just are flat out mean. They might yell, hang up on you, insult you, and it's easy to take it personally. But don't. Here's something you've probably heard many times. I sure did. You call a seller and they say, oh, agents don't do anything. That's why I'm selling it myself. Your ego could lose control at that moment, but it shouldn't. You shouldn't argue in that kind of situation. Instead, turn it to your advantage. So you say, I hear you, and you're right. 99% of agents don't do much, and honestly, if I was in your situation and I thought that I could sell my house for the same price that an agent could sell it for, I'd be doing it myself too. Because what you really want is to sell your home for the most money possible and keep as much money as possible, right? And with that in mind, if I can show you a way where I can net you more money than if you sold it yourself, is that something you might be interested in looking at? This response is brilliant because it acknowledges their objection and shifts the conversation to what's important to them. You could get upset because they're putting you in a basket with all other lazy, incompetent agents. But this way, you're acknowledging their perspective, you keep the conversation going, and you'll set appointments. So turn down your ego and become a chameleon. A chameleon changes its color to match its surroundings. It doesn't say, well, this is just how I am. I'm blue. Deal with it. As a real estate agent, you must be adaptable. If your client speaks slowly, you speak slowly. If they're analytical, you should be precise. If they're excited, you match their energy. If they argue, you don't. That's how you build rapport, which is required in order for you to influence them. You're in the business of communicating. People want to feel like you get them. When you adapt, you build trust quickly, and that's how you win. Even when your ego is in check, the market won't always play nice. You lose deals, get ghosted, make calls that go nowhere. And the agents who survive, they're the ones who treat every failure like fuel. Because in this business, you only win or learn. And that's rule number 6. You either win or you learn. Every day, ask yourself, what did I learn today? Sometimes you repeat the same mistake 5, 10, 20 times, but every time you refuse to learn, the cost gets higher. And the longer you wait, the further behind you fall. It's easy to get discouraged when things don't go the way that you want. But here's the truth. If you win, amazing. If you don't, it's a lesson. Learn or repeat. Sometimes you have to repeat the same mistake dozens of times before you truly learn. That's life. If you don't learn, you're going to face the same challenge over and over again until you do. Life is about growth. That's what makes it exciting, learning, improving, getting better. That's not always easy in real estate, but many real estate agents' offices are full of unproductive agents. So you need to surround yourself with like-minded people, people who support your goals, people who inspire you to grow. Here's something that you should always keep in mind when talking with clients. You're helping people with one of their biggest financial decisions in their lives. They need to trust you. And trust doesn't come from what you say. It comes from how you show up every day. So if even one of these rules hit a nerve, good. Rewatch this. Save it, share it with someone who needs it. And if you're serious about mastering these rules, check out the links in the description. Most agents will nod and move on, but a few will take action. Be the one who does. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.